Today we will continue with the Union Parliament. We will look into the powers of the Union Parliament. Now, let me ask you a very fundamental question. We've always heard about the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha. Have you ever wondered why is the Lok Sabha called so? Why is the Lok Sabha called so? We know another name for the Lok Sabha is the House of People. So why House of the People? Why not anything else? Today I'll answer this question first. Why House of People? See, we know the members of the Lok Sabha are directly elected by the people. The members of the Lok Sabha members who are representatives of the people of India. That's why it's called the Lok Sabha. Now the Rajya Sabha. Why is the Rajya Sabha called so? Council of States, right? That's what Rajya Sabha means. If we translate the Hindi into English, that's what it means. Rajya Sabha, Council of States. So, Rajya Sabha, the representatives of the Rajya Sabha are the same as the Lok Sabha, but the only difference is when the members of the Rajya Sabha are elected, they are not elected directly by the people. Whom are they elected by? They are elected by the representatives of the people who are there in the state legislative assembly. In the state legislative assembly. Okay, so from there, state is equal to Rajya and Rajya Sabha. Rajya, right? State, Hindi is Rajya. So from there the name comes Rajya Sabha or Council of States because the people are elected by the members of the state legislative assemblies. As simple as that. These are two questions which might have arisen in your head. So I just thought, let's answer these questions. Now let's get into the textual part of the session. That is the powers of Parliament. The Parliament basically has 5 types of powers. What are they? Parliament, we write powers. What are they? Legislative, judicial that is, then financial, amendment of the Constitution, and the 5th one is the most important one, the electoral functions. Now I'll go into all these functions in details, but for more information on these functions, you can please refer to the book. They're all there in the book. So I will go into each of them in details now. Let's start with legislative. What do we mean by legislative? Legislature means lawmaking. Okay, legislature means lawmaking. Anything to do with law is equal to legislative powers of the parliament. Now, there are 3 lists in the country: the union list, the concurrent list, and the state list. What is the union list? Powers which are exclusively reserved for the union to make laws. Concurrent is both state and union can make laws. The state list is the list on which only the state can make laws. There are various subjects in all these lists, but we are not concerned with the subjects, okay? So basically, the concurrent list and the union list fall under the union parliament, fall under the domain of the union parliament. So what do? Make laws. Make laws. Like make laws with the subjects, with relation to subjects. Subjects of the state plus concurrent list. That's it. That's basically their legislative functions. Now is something called the residual power of the Union Parliament. This is something which is very often asked for short questions. So residual power of the Union Parliament basically refers to those subjects which are absent from either of the three lists. All of the three lists. Okay. It's like there are some subjects which are absent from the concurrent, the state and the union lists. Those subjects are what fall under the residual powers. As the term suggests, anything that is left behind, anything that is a residue is residuary. It means those powers which are left behind, those subjects which are left behind. The Union Parliament can make laws with respect to those subjects. Now, the Union Parliament can make laws on the subjects in the state list even. But when the Union Parliament can do so in two cases majorly. One is when there is a dispute between the union and the states, then the law of the union prevails. Number one. Number two, when there is a subject in the state list that is concerning two or more states, and those states want the union to make laws on that subject, then the union parliament can. And the third case is when there is a disagreement between two states, then the union can intervene and make laws. That's all. That's all that we have under legislative powers of the Union Parliament. So I'll just brief it once again. And that is, first is it's basically to make laws with relation to subjects in the state list and the concurrent list. Also, it includes residual powers, that is powers to make laws which are not there in either of the three lists, state, concurrent, union. And of course, make laws in the union list as well, and also make laws with regard to subjects in the state list only when two or more states want it, or when there's a difference in opinion between the union and the state. The opinion of the union prevails. Remember, any case, opinion of the union prevails. Okay. Now, this is what we basically mean by the legislative powers of the parliament. I hope everybody has understood the legislative powers of the parliament. Now we go into the next power, which is also extremely important to understand because it is related to money matters. Okay, and there is a statement made by one of our honorable leaders which says, "He who holds the power, he who holds the purse, holds the power." So, and all these money matters are usually related to the Lok Sabha because the budget is present at the budget, and all the money bill matters are related to the Lok Sabha. Now, okay, let's come to financial matters. Under financial, there are basically three things. Okay, one is the budget. What is the budget? A budget is an account of the income and expenditure of the government in one financial year. That is from 1st April of, suppose let's take this financial year 2021. It's from 1st April 2020 to 31st March 2021. Whatever income the government will have, whatever expenditure the government will do, the account of that in terms of money is what the budget is. The budget is presented before the two houses of the parliament. It's presented before a joint session of the parliament by the Finance Minister of India. And all those bills which need to be sanctioned are introduced in the Lok Sabha later, where they discuss which bills are to be passed, which not to be passed, which to be withdrew for the time being. Okay, that's what the budget essentially is. That's all you need to know about the budget. Now we need to know what is a supplementary grant. Now supplementary grant is basically a certain amount of money which is kept aside. Okay, there's something called a consolidated fund of India. So when suppose the budget for a particular thing exceeds, suppose there is a particular railway project, the budget is exceeded. Let's say the railway authority are making a train line from Mumbai to Kolkata, a new train line. So there they want some money, but their budget is exceeded. So whatever money, the extra money that is needed, is what is taken in form of supplementary grants. That is what supplementary grants are. That's it. Vote on account. What's a vote on account? Yes. Anyone has heard the term before? Anyone? No. Let me tell you what a vote on account is. A vote on account is basically a method of, procuring money. How do they procure money? See, a vote on account is basically that, suppose the budget is not passed within April 1st of the year, then what they do? They have a device called the vote of account, which authorizes the executive to take money from the Consolidated Fund of India. I was talking about the Consolidated Fund of India right now, right? That's what is a vote of account. That's it that we have under the financial powers. So basically, budget, vote of account, and supplementary grants, they are all related to money. Whenever the budget fails, the rest do come into account, otherwise not. Now we come to the electoral functions, which is the easiest. See, the parliament takes into account lots of elections. Number one, speaker, which we talked about last day. Number two, the vice president and the president of India. Number three, the judges of the Supreme Court are also elected by these people. Okay, and also they elect the chairmen of the different committees and etc. 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 All the ministerial people and all the administrative people, managerial people are elected by the Union Parliament. Most importantly, remember Speaker, President, Vice President. These are what you need to remember the most. Speaker, Vice President, President. That's all the electoral functions of the Parliament have. Okay, what is judicial functions of the Parliament? The judicial functions of the Parliament are related to majorly impeachment of the President of India. What is impeachment? Basically, the Lok Sabha and the Rajya Sabha, they pass either house passes a resolution, then there is an inquiry in the president has a chance to prove himself not guilty. If he is proven guilty, he is removed from office. That's what impeachment is. And so impeachment, with relation to impeachment, that's the judicial power, number one. Judicial power number two is what? Is Supreme Court judges and contempt of the... Okay, we have something called contempt of the House. What's that? Basically, when a person insults the Union Parliament in the presence of the Union Parliament, that person can be punished or can be severely imposed with a fine by the Union Parliament. That's how it maintains law and order in the House. And we were talking about the Supreme Court judges. See, the Supreme Court judges can be removed only by a letter given to the President, a joint resolution rather, given to the President by the two houses of the Parliament. Then the charges have to be proved, and then the person can be removed only on grounds of proven misbehavior. So remember, removal of the judge of the Supreme Court. Then there are two instances of impeachment of judges of the Supreme Court and also the the President of India. And the third one is contempt of the House. If one disrespects the House, the Union Parliament has power to punish them. Now we come to the amendment of the Constitution. See, the the final guardian and interpreter of the Constitution is our Supreme Court. But the amendment laws, amendment bills can also be passed in the Parliament. So that's what amendment. There's a process of amendment. The process is that whenever an amendment is passed, it needs to be passed by majority plus 2/3 members present and voting. For those people who know what a model United Nations is, this term present and voting is very heard of. But for those who don't, just know present and voting. Just know the term, that's it. Now, whenever an amendment needs to be passed, it needs to be passed by majority plus 2/3 members present and voting of only the house, okay, in which it is being done. Like, it can be in either house. It's not only Rajya Sabha or only Lok Sabha. It can be either house of the parliament. Majority plus 2/3 members present and voting. Okay, this is all the powers of the parliament that we have. Other powers and functions of the parliament is not there in our syllabus, so please don't bother to read it. Privileges and special powers of the MPs is also not there in the syllabus, so please don't read it. It will be extra work on your part. Now, this is the first part of our session today. We are ending with the first part of our session. Now, I'm giving you a break of 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, I'll be back